What's up guys, I'm Nate Navarro and today I have something really cool to show you. It's called the Ultrawave Multiband Bass Processor. The Ultrawave has an extremely flexible compressor and expander. They offer precise control with very helpful visual feedback. This allows you to dial in your settings faster, and if you're less experienced with compression or expansion, it'll give you an idea of what each control is doing in real time. For example, here's a quick bass loop. We have the mode set to compressor, which smooths out the dynamic range of the bass, as opposed to an expander, which would widen the dynamic range. Maybe you're switching between techniques like fingerstyle and tapping, or slapping and using a pick, and you notice that some of the passages are too loud, or more often they're too quiet, and being lost in the mix. Adding compression can gently guide the dynamic range of your bass to be heard more consistently in a transparent fashion, or you can push it more aggressively, squashing your bass's dynamic range in a less transparent, more stylistic kind of way. It's also perfect for adding sustain to your notes. Here's a quick look at my approach to compression using the Ultrawave. Let's keep the mix at maximum so that we hear only the signal running through the compressor. In many cases, it's nice to blend in some of your unaffected signal, but I'd suggest doing that last. This way you can more clearly hear what your compressor's doing while you're dialing it in. Next, let's put output gain at minimum while we adjust input gain. The input gain is dependent upon your instrument's output level. When you're playing your loudest, the ball should reach about halfway into the last column of the graph, so anywhere along this vertical line that I'm drawing right now. That looks about right. Next, increase output gain so that the volume is just a little bit louder than when the pedal is bypassed, like this. Yeah. We'll need to keep adjusting the output gain as we make changes to the other controls. Threshold controls the amplitude at which compression is applied. If you only want your very loudest sounds to be brought down in volume, keep the threshold high. If you'd like to compress sounds that are moderately loud and above, bring the threshold down some. And if you want to compress just about everything, set it near minimum. Ratio controls the degree of gain reduction once your threshold is met. Do you want those louder notes to be slightly quieter? Or about the same level as everything else? And a related control, the knee width, which determines the onset of the compression. If you'd like the full compression ratio to be applied as soon as the threshold is reached, set the knee width to off. If you'd like the full ratio to be applied gradually, choose any of the other options, with 15 dB being the softest, or most transparent. Set the attack high if you want an immediate response from the compressor. With a slow attack, your starting notes can have a bit more impact, with sharper transients before the compressor reacts and starts pulling them down. I usually like the feel of a faster attack. Release controls the speed at which the compressor lets go. So watch this. With release set to minimum, it's going to keep holding on for a while. The level of compression won't waver all that much for a smoother sound. A faster release brings back more dynamic variety. It just comes down to the particular sound or feel that you're going for. If you want to take things even further, you can create a dual compressor, which allows you to compress two frequency bands separately. This is a great way to have more dynamic mids and highs while keeping a tight and constant deepness to your bass's tone. If this interests you, check out my True Dual Comp preset in the Neuro app. Oh, and before I forget, this location parameter sets whether the compressor is placed before or after the distortion module in the signal chain. Tons of options here.